welcome to a new week. It is time that flies. I mean, if you tuned in from last week, I decided to split up a stream because otherwise it would be too much. Still gessoing things. Promised a little show and tell, so for those who waited a whole week because they watched it on YouTube, let me get those things. How's the 3D pins? 40 minutes left. Well, I doubt it. I think these are ready for extra paint as well. I spray painted these just to make things easier for myself. I can't put them on here because then they will be getting dirty. There you go. Steampunk wings, these will be freebies. But you can't see it if it's that far below. Okay, well, let's grab first set. These will be freebies because I was inspired by someone else and I consider them too inspired. So you can put them behind characters. These are ready for extra paint. And technically, if you want to put something between to make it these parts translucent easy, you can just merge these. These are symmetrical, so you might need to work a little bit to melt them together or whatever. And then you need, if you first need to add something, then you need to melt them together, and they'll be a bit thicker, but you just have to print them twice. And so you guys can be painted as well. Let's put you two on the painting tray because that's what you guys are gonna be. And I wanted to show something what I use as a painting surface. I'm using a silicone sponge. This one's still clean on the backside, but this already has spray painted gold and it has spray painted black. I think, yeah, you can put it in the washing machine and then it might get rid of some of the dirt, but this way you still have air going underneath. And it's silicone, so it doesn't really stack that much. So I have a couple of these silicone sponges for underneath my paintings. I was looking for something like somewhat of a silicone wire rack. I know that sounds weird, but haven't found that yet. Naraku, how much are you dry? Dry enough to spray paint the back. And spray paint is going to make the color darker again, so here's my painting tray. And I got those silicone sponges at the Vibra, but you can probably get them everywhere where you can get household things, because silicones are don't really stick to anything and they're easy to clean, so they're better for the environment. Not really sure because you have to create them anyway. So I'm not really sure if they're better for the environment. And sure, you can put them in the dishwasher and make them clean again, but I think it's still a lot of bacteria can get on there. So I prefer not to. But that's just a personal opinion. Gemini is going to be one of the more expensive characters for download. Not too expensive, by the way, because all I did was flip the design and matched it up, so it's not that much extra work, but it is an extra file. What are you? Why are you here? So if I go for a sale price of €3, this one will probably be 4, because you get a lot of more extra files. Oh, we have a second viewer. How interesting. Ooh, that purple is getting really neon-y. I'll show you soon enough. First is on the drying plate. It fit here previously, so it should fit again. Okie dokie. This one needed back. This one needed back. These need fronts. Or actually these need backs as well. So yeah, priming is quite boring to look at. Especially since it's so many designs. The decorating is way more fun. Looking forward to making these pride flags ones as well. Remember, those are freebies. So you can make any flag you want. And then in 2025, I'll make a large one for the all-inclusive flag. There we go. You can go on this plate. There's a little bit space over here. Oh, there's a little bit space over here as well. But you have plenty of space on the other one. Yep, I do. But there's still also plenty of things that need to be gessoed. Put you over here for now. In the new year, I'm also going to look for maybe 2 big serving trays. So I can stack those and things can dry easily. Ah, we're back to 1 viewer. That was to be expected. This character, this mermaid for mermaid, is called Sienna from Oceania. But I also have a character named Sienna. So that's going to be very confusing. Because I sometimes say Sienna about her as well. But that character has double N. And Sienna only has 1 N. And that, by the way, was on accident. Okay. Now these coins. I had one coin that I needed to redo because there were holes in it. Of course, depends on your printer if you do get holes for other designs. Sometimes things are just too... Oh, printing is done. Changing file. I'll show you the wings soon enough. First need to get them off this plate. Oh. Filament is quite stuck to the plate. Okay, I don't need extra adherence. Told you that the wings don't take that long. Let's see, I did this, and now I finished these. These are a bit classic. So they're not very interesting. This one also is a little bit crooked. But if you take photos of it in the right angle, you don't see it. So I'm not gonna reprint that. It's gonna be a freebie. Anyway, I need to hydrate. I need a little stick to hold them. So this is the second type of... Oh, it's the third type of Pokeball, I think. The Moon one is for the Sailor Moon freebie. I know I said I wouldn't do any design basis for freebies, but this moon is probably going to be used for a character anyway. I tried to make unique designed bases for everyone. But I'm probably somewhere going to use... Well, it's a single moon, by the way, so... Considering my world, my novel world has... has 3 moons. Come on. And my Serenade Moon version is probably gonna get their own moon symbol. The logo I designed for the series. How about you guys stop fraternizing? Maybe in the future I'll do another 4-hour stream, but then I'll probably Okay, I don't have a big audience at the moment, but those who are watching, what should I do next? Gessoing more pieces or cleaning up the remaining pieces? And cleaning up means just removing all the springs, preparing them for gessoing. Feels like I'm baking cookies. Heard some weird noises. Why is my jacket in the wet gesso? Okay, gesso it is. First, these need a second coat. Okay. These were all done. Ready for gessoing. And I think I'm going to spray paint the calis. Just to save myself some time. I have a few colors of spray paint. Oh, there goes a wing. Here we have our cat, wolf, fox girl. A lie. If the 3D print project does gonna work, then I'm also going to, by the way, do the rainbow fairies and the rainbow mermaids. But I planned for 4 years. That's quite a big project, and I think that's plenty to start with. And I judge this by if my files get sold. And I'm not talking about en masse that I can quit my day job. But like if 4 or 5 times a print gets sold. Because if I have 4 or 5 prints a week, let's say 5 because that counts easier. Than in about 2 weeks, I could buy a roll of filament. You know, the things you need for test printing and for sales. For those who don't want to buy it at a stand, don't have a 3D printer. And I also need the 3D print adherence spray. Which is, by the way, I believe more expensive than the roll of filament. Normal people don't use that much, but I'm printing en masse at the moment. So I think a design is successful if I sell about 5 of them. The free designs are not taken in the... oh, this is a... Wait. Okay, this is an actual line. Okay. By the way, I'm adjusting these in random order. And I also already calculated that if I want to take a day off, an extra day off, which means I need to buy a day off, it would cost electricity and lunch and everything included, would take about 200 euros. So if people want me to do a request, that's the amount my time is worth, according to my day job. And then you also understand that I really should be asking more for my art. Okay. So yes, I do have a good paying job, and that's why I can do this. What will you do if this tray gets full? Don't worry, I still have a silicone mat. And I have one small tray left, so... How about I clean my brush a bit? Everything that's in here is all foamy right now. And some designs will be more interesting to others than other designs. I mean, the zodiac. Either people collect the zodiac, or they only get the ones they really like, or are their own star sign. Oh, wait, I'm trying to fill a hole. And the Forever Young characters. Maybe people who like D&D? And the reason I included this little dinosaur, my character Rexy, the little T-Rex, is because someone once complained my art is way too girly. And I'm like, well, I am a girl, so checks out. But for the boys who feel like my work is too girly, I also have a cute little dinosaur. Of course, the Pokemon. They can use the Pokemon as well. I need to be careful not to put my painted stuff on my new tablecloths. Okay, I'm going to use this. Ooh, magic! Whole new plate. Venusaur. Wait, another Matsuru? Well, that one goes into the pile of I'll do those later. Because I'm already doing a Matsuru, and I'm not going to paint him twice when it's not needed. Must have cleaned it out of habit. Looking forward to coloring Kai. Printing is still going fine. And this still needs about 3 layers. I needed to redo this coin of Hane because there were too big of a holes in it. And I tweaked the design slightly. So you can't really see its feather and the symbol for air and that much anymore, but Also like my design for Sagittarius. I'm probably gonna get complaints. Why do all the girls wear dresses? They don't have to wear dresses. They can wear pants as well. Yes, they can, but this is their gala version. And for their gala version, they all wear dresses. Plus, I like designing dresses. Okay, we have Clover. Ooh. Missed a few strings. I'm getting a lot of stringing issues, by the way, with my designs. Probably because it's getting too cold in here. Your character. And Charmander. Also a familiar character, by the way. There's a little extra with his Charmander that's still not prepared for gesturing yet. And then people can complain I'm using the wrong color paint for Penny. And I'm like, well, tough luck. It's a bit impossible to color match everything to the detail. Feels like I'm spreading whipped cream or something like that. And when I'm done gesturing, the first thing I need to do is clean this plate as much as possible so I can return to the other paintings. And I don't mind the back getting a little bit of gesso already. Okay, Miss Bunny, a wing set, Nurse Light. Somehow these were very thick. I think I forgot to make them 3 millimeters thick. And a set of butterfly wings. Those are the last ones I can gesso. And for obvious reasons, there won't be a stream this Sunday because it's New Year's Eve. And I like to spend my holidays with my family. I might still be painting or whatever, but then not stream. Because it is quite a setup. I need to haul my laptop to the other place. I need to haul my work headset. I mean, as long as I have it, this is a bit easier than the lavalier that only has about 2 hours of mic time. This has 14 hours of mic time. These wings are going to be glow in the dark, by the way. I didn't send it. Checking if I'm not on screen. Okay. And normally I don't use that much tissues for paint. But considering I'm painting en masse right now, I use more tissues. There we go. Not sure if this was a freebie butterfly wing. Okay. Drying time. I could also do those wings, by the way, the butterfly wings. Spray paint those. And the angel wings, I should actually just spray paint those. It would save a lot of time. Okay, cleanup time. So this is the boring part of the boring part. I might gesso again today, but where will I put you to dry? Let's put you over here for now. Then scraping off the brush. I'm gonna put this gesso on the ground for now. Now I need my gesso paint water. Remember, this gesso paint water will be reused if I need to make a new batch of gesso paint mixed with some white paint, shitty white paint. Okay, why are you destroying my bristles? So this is only gesso water, hence why it's so incredibly white. Okay, I'm probably gonna need it soon enough again, because first what I'm gonna do is water up this. There's a hair. Why is there a hair here? Hair should be illegal. I could, of course, use a rag and wash that rag out. But then eventually I would be forced to toss that rag. This one's also dirty. So the big amount of tissue paper, tissues I'm using right now is because I'm painting that much in a short period of time. Just so water. And I'm running out. Well, I'm not running out. I'm running low on my just so that's nice. Getting there, getting there. I want to be able to put away some of the paints. But right now I need a lot of colors at the same time. Hence why I can't put them away just yet. And the first release will be January 1st. I know that's marketing wise not the smartest day to release new stuff. But I want it on the first Monday of the month. And it's going to be a Monday, so. You can barely see the old color now, so. Thank you, Creole. Whatever, whoever made your paint, good person. You see a lot of those people who mistake their paint water with their drinks. I solved it by having a little bottle. I'd rather not have anything to drink with my paint work. Because I usually topple it over. We're with 2 people again. So many people today. Yeah, this is very thin paint. I have paint thickener, but if you use that paint thickener, it would make the paint thicker, but it also would add to the transparency, so that's not much of a use in this case. Ooh! We're having 2 people in chat. I don't mind food in my craft room. I tend to snack a lot, so. How are you? Still drying? Yep, that's not going to be dry today. Let's face it. How dry are you? Well, to the touch, but slightly to the touch. Still not dry. Okie dokie. You go back. Of course. The good paint is already. It's not thin enough for the airbrush. I have other paints that are thin enough probably for an airbrush, which I will try out. But not right now because priority projects. No, no. There we go. Starting to look like a Pokeball. I got myself an old keyboard here, so that I don't mind getting it dirty. I only put paint into tubs if the tubes are very annoying. I think it's raining. Okay, now around it again. Be careful. And I decided for plain black base because, well, the focus is on Bulbasaur anyway. Technically, I could rinse this brush in my gesso water, but... Yeah, it's raining. I can actually see the rainfall. I have a sky dome here for natural light, which you don't really have in the winter that much. Okay, so everything is drying. How is my Naraku standy doing? How's the printing doing? Okay. Glossy spray paint. And the back is now quite 2 shades darker. Because that's what the spray paint thing does. Words. How about I start spray painting Sushi and Rain because you need spray painting as well. Should actually do this with the door open, but okay. So, how are you? How dry are you? Not dry enough to spray paint. So, currently nothing left to paint, or I need to start something new. How dry are you? Let's try this quite well. It's the 4th week anyway, and I already have the other one with the old numbers. So, that's the painting part, so we return to the scraping part. I am so excited about the scraping part. I have a little tray for that, so I can put the jar underneath me. All the scraps go into one big jar, and I'll try to melt that all into a big plate. So, first we're gonna scrape a freebie, better known as Sailor Moon. Brushes can go over here for now. Like I said, I have really a lot of issues with stringing lately. And she gets a matching moon base because, you know, I had already made it. First, I wanted to use the moon base for Naraku, and then I realized Naraku doesn't live on the world with 3 moons, so she needs 3 moons on her standy base. I have no rhyme, I have no reason. And I really don't like cleaning up. Yeah, I've seen people melt it in silicone scraps in the oven as well, but I kinda like my oven. And there's a lot of toxic fumes coming out of it, so I want to try something else. You know me. Always wanted to try something out myself, not looking for what others did. I'm always trying to reinvent the wheel. It's raining quite loudly. Well, hopefully that keep the people inside who don't have fireworks but rockets. Because some of those bangs are insanely loud. Really, I don't mind fireworks. I understand people want it, but some of those bangs are insanely loud. It's fireworks that's legal in the Netherlands, but is allowed in Germany. So that's where they get it. Sometimes they get it from Belgium, because apparently Belgium is quite well, doesn't mind those big bangs. Let's call it like that. We have an opinion and we will not voice it out loud. And it's not just me who gets scared of it. I'm thinking about all the animals. Luckily, the animals that we usually have in our tiny petting zoo, let's call it like that. You can't really pet them, but they're currently at the petting zoo because they were overweight because people overfed them. Made a comic about it. 3D printing still going fine. I like the sound of rain. I don't think I just finished my line. And I'm thinking about the animals who get scared of those loud bangs. I'm not just thinking about the farm animals, but also about the dogs, the cats. Came across a cat who was very scared of the bangs. Then it spotted me and ran even faster. I did go for the classic Sailor Moon design. That way, if people really enjoy it, I can one day do the super variant. Or the eternal variant. Maybe the Serenity variant, but you know, they're freebies, so they're not on the priority list. I first want to do the inner Senshi anyway. Already sketched Chibi Moon. And I had my studio and table all set up for show and tell, and then I started painting and needed way more space. But I do plan to show my new tablecloths that arrived today. I can't really show them on the table because, you know, the table is filled with things drying. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to show it just yet, but currently working on Sailor Moon. Very weird bridge over here. How am I going to cut that away? And I didn't take my books of stock for book 5 over here because, you know, most will end up in storage anyway. I will have one on display, one in stock, for someone orders, and the rest will be in storage. Almost there, almost there. It's just a little shrapnel, what I'm going to try and reuse. Literally shavings. I wish I could put other music on, like the top 2000, top 2000. But I don't want to get copyright striked. Oh, Sailor Moon is done. Ready for gessoing. Let's put you over here. Yeah, let's do this dude. Honey, don't really like that dude. Yeah, I know. It's better not to force dry things, but I'm in a pinch at the moment. Things need to be done tomorrow. Oh, we're already an hour in. Well, I said I would stream 4 hours today. For the ones who joined later, I will put it up in 2 parts on YouTube. 2 2-hour parts. Tunk? Something did tunk. Heard there are more today, so I think it's my space heater. So I'm only force drying the things that need to be dry quickly, and those are thin layers. Even Bulbasaur, if it doesn't really look like thin layers. Hane, one of my least favorite characters. And why do I dislike him this much? Because he's a hypocrite. Then why did you write him like that? Well, he wrote himself. He's all about pacifism and be kind to one another and vegetarian, and at the same time, oh, my friend's in danger. Let's save her. Let's murder everyone on our way. So yeah, that's why I don't like Hane. He's not the first vegetarian, by the way. Well, he is the first vegetarian, but he's not the last one. This is probably going to be a spoiler, but by the time I write this story, people probably forgot about it. Or they look back this YouTube and they're like, oh, she already mentioned it over there. There's going to be a little girl that's very in love with all the kinds of animals, doesn't see the harm in any of them. And the moment she finds out that what on her plate is meat and what it's made from, she becomes a vegetarian. Or at least will become a mostly vegetarian because, well, sometimes you have no choice. For example, in the winter, if there's not much food, but always minimal meat. And it doesn't matter to her if it's fish or meat. She loves animal so much. And it's going to be quite ironic that her father is the main cook. So those who know who is the main cook also now know whose daughter it's going to be. The Kali's printed wonderfully, by the way. Very minimal cleanup. There's one that had quite some stringing, but that's 1 out of 15 or so. By the way, I didn't intend that girl to be a vegetarian. Like always, she wrote herself. But she's not going to be a hypocrite. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue 3D printing when I'm done with the current one. Mainly because it's raining outside and I don't want to run through the rain several times. It would go faster if I would melt it, but then I don't have any control. But anyway, those wings are for special releases. I mean, one of the, or probably a Kali or a wing set is going to be released on my birthday because, you know, birthday. And in the Netherlands, it's common that if you have your birthday, you treat others. And I know there are 52 weeks in a year and I'm going to have 48 sets. But I'm also like, isn't 42 enough? 48 enough? Oh, I forgot this piece. By the way, this cleanup is the most I will do for the sets I print and offer them on my stand. Because as you can see, it already takes plenty of time. Thought I heard my 3D print going, but it's part of the music. I was, by the way, copyright flagged at YouTube. Well, apparently I forgot placing the penny on Facebook, but I'll do that later. But anyway, I got copyright striked on YouTube, but luckily the owner allowed me to stream. It was the music from Restream. So Restream flagged me for their own AI music. They offer for free. But this works. I mean, I can use free cameras at the same time. For free, so I'm okay with being flagged for that one, and then their name will be listed somewhere or whatever. Okay. And that's honey done. I still have so many characters left. Let's do an easy one. Just so I have a feeling of success that it's easy. The very basic wings. And if people like, wait, it's weird size, let's, for example, take this one that I still need to clean, Nezuko. Perfect fit. I will offer a few wings as freebies. Freebie package. I offer the steampunk wings for free. My free packages currently have one Kali, one butterfly wings, one angel wings, and one steampunk wings. So I have 2 sets. Like I said, I want to have a... So hence I'm doing this easy one for now. It probably is possible to make a 3D mark embedded in the print. However, people can easily either carve it away or use some filler to destroy it anyway. So it is possible to make one. But I have no idea how just yet. Probably gonna need some 3D software design program for that. I did look into it. If I could stamp one in. There's also quite a little defect. But currently that's beyond my skills. And once I looked into burning it, didn't get hot enough to melt the plastic. And I'll admit I made this 3D print for a little girl who loves manga. Sorry if I'm in the way with my head, by the way. I'm gonna clean this for a moment. So, like I said, gonna get some few big trays in the new year, so I can dry more at the same time. Yep, 3D print is done. Well, I still have an hour left, so I can do one more 3D print. Okay, still no new adherence needed. Okay, so that was first set. Oh, this is just one file. Okie dokie. Then I'm going to finish that. Also a set of angel wings. There's a sneeze coming up. Thing is, if when you hear headphones, you hear things clunking, you don't know where it's coming from. Yeah, 3D print is starting again. It's the last one, so should take about an hour, and then I have all the angel wings done. All test printed. And I am wondering what kind of color I will go the next year for my next roll of filament. I think I'm going for gray. Again, recycled, of course, recycled PLA version. Because, well, if it's white, I'm afraid I won't see all the stringing and other defects. And black just takes too much paint to coat it. I mean, I need 3 to 4 layers of gesso just to get it ready for painting here. I always will get recycled PLA, if possible, if available, of course. So much stringing. This one's going to be interesting to color, by the way. Because all of the gradient in her hair. And then the next year I will start 3D printing the butterfly wings and the dragon wings. And of course the book extras. I mean, by then I hope I have prepared them for print. About half an hour left. Then the last stream of the year will end. And if my wings are not yet printed, that's okay, because cleaning up always takes a while anyway. And I think the rain stopped anyway. But I won't quit until I show my new tablecloths. I will most likely give this standee to the girl I decided for anyway. As long as I make sure I have pictures ready. And I can give it on her birthday, which is earlier this year. No, I won't mention which month. Okay, I think that's Nezuko almost. Nezuko done, ready for priming. This is also a freebie. Feels like I'm doing nothing. While I'm scraping away quite a lot. You just can't see it. That's why I use a hard brush. I have no use for hard brushes except for cleaning up. Oops. That didn't sound good. Okay. I think I did crack the wall a bit. But that's nothing a little bit of glue or paint can't fix. I mean, I had that before with mouse breaking off. Yeah, it's here. Broke the wall over here. But if you paint over it, no one's gonna notice. And I may print this a second time if I want to and if I have time, so I can make a snow Miku as well. Maybe even a Sakura Miku. For the example, I'm going to make the classic Miku. And if you want to have cherries, you can just paste those on top. I mean, it would probably be a lot stronger if you wouldn't print it on 3mm, so. My printer can't even print less than 3mm. If you want a very sturdy one, I recommend the 4mm. Maybe even a bit bigger so the lines won't be as thin. But you know, if you have to print, let's say 70 examples, then you don't want to print it all on huge size. At least, like I said in the previous stream, if you watch this on YouTube, I still have a day job. Okay, I think Miku is done. I'm probably gonna find some stringing when I gesso her. Still a little booger over here. Miku done. Okay, I have about 30 minutes left. So what I'm gonna do is show the tablecloths I got. Now I have to find a way to show it, by the way, without getting paint on it. So let's put my paint card over here. Oh. My painting caddy. And we're gonna turn the camera slightly. A little bit more. How dry are you guys? Dry enough to do the backside. Yeah, the digital do is back. Okay, so first one is going to be the very expectable, and I know you can't see it full in frame, and it's supposed to go over this table. But this is for the summery vibe. I'm going to try and show it as best as I can, but let's... the head's on the other side. So... Of course, I'm gonna get a sea turtle one. It's, if I can see, it's either printed on or sublimated. Quality-wise, don't look it up front. But that's normal on this size. So this is if I want to have a summery feeling on my table. And this one hasn't unpacked. This is the first one I'm gonna try as soon as this table gets empty again. Where's my trash can? Here's my trash can. And where's my paper? My paper's here. Why do you not toss your paper tissue towels in the paper? Because of the paint. This is a more calm one. It's a galaxy. It's blue and purple. So this isn't very decorated. I don't want too crowded. There were a lot of things like ocean life, and I have with the chibi characters and all, but I don't want things to be too crowded just yet. Folding will be done later. And the last one. I might still get the other ones with my Arnold. But if there's things over it, you won't even see it that much. That's why I wanted a few calm ones. But of course, they're all bluish. And this is kind of like a marble one. It's supposed to be gold on blue. But of course you can't really see the gold sparkles because it's printed on, so it doesn't really sparkle. But it's nice. It's a bit darker than I expected, so I might get a lighter one. But those are more neutral ones. The galaxy and this marble ones. So folding will be done later because they're big and I don't want to pay attention to it right now. And of course, hot off the press, received today. This way. Ah, the camera is mirrored. Well, I'm over here now. Can't fix that from here. The Dutch version of the book. Lots of letters. Few special arts. And extras, no extras, I believe. Just a list of characters. So, and back to the table because that's more interesting. Watching paint dry. So, tablecloths will be, you can see something changed, but despite me wanting to, I can't really buy a gazillion tablecloths. I have in several colors, mostly blue, and there are a few other colors on their way. Let's put the paint card back. There we go. So I can have different feels and all. Let's hydrate. Okay. So we'll look for tablecloths. Something nice for around Easter, for example, spring. So there will be other tablecloths. Maybe something for Halloween. Now, of course, I could make my own art, but yeah. I honestly have enough projects as it is. So this is probably the last one I'm gonna clean up. How's Bulbasaur doing? Way better, way better. If I do finish this before the 2-hour mark, then I'm just gonna do some wings. So as you can see, still plenty of 3D designs left to paint. This has a lot of tiny strings. And you can already get a different feel with a table if you put a different base tablecloth. But maybe once in a while I'll treat myself on a tablecloth. And if I ever get a small table on a fair, I have plenty to choose from. And no, these tablecloths will not be used for dinner. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits soon enough. Mostly because I need to take a little break, restroom break. And if I would come back, then we would have like 10 minutes left. So, and I mean, cleanup can always be done later, except if I have to clean up the big stuff. This one needs actually quite a lot of filler. So, I'm calling it for today. Thank you for keeping me company. And I'll be seeing you in the new year. May it be better than this one. I'll keep the 3D printing on a little bit longer, by the way, because, well, why not? So this audio is going on mute. 3D print will be running for about 15 minutes or so. So if you're not interested in watching a 3D printer, then feel free to call it a day. And otherwise, enjoy watching my Printy. I think I'm going to call him Printy. With his googly eyes. Bye bye.